Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's AI podcast from techcarrot. Today's topic is building conversational experience using generative AI. I'm your host, Dinesh Rampal, a low-code, no-code enthusiast with over 3 decades of experience in development and delivery. Joining me today is my co-host, Mr. Osama Ali, a senior software engineer at techcarrot. We started this development experience some 4 or 5 months back. It has been an incredible ride with great amount of success, and we thought of doing this podcast to share this with our audience. Osama, would you like to share your thoughts and how you're feeling today?
Thanks, Dinesh, for inviting me on today's podcast. I am excited to share our journey and experience to building conversational experience using AI today.
So before we get deep into our discussion today, a few housekeeping note. If our audience has a query, question or clarification or a suggestion, for a future podcast topic, they are free to write us at our email address, which is at the footer of the podcast. Now let's get going into our main discussion. Our topic today is building conversational experience using generative AI. We leveraged Azure OpenAI and RAG and these kind of technologies to our benefit. But before we go deep into this, we first started experimenting with CLU and LUIS. In fact, LUIS, right? LUIS, as you all know, is language understanding and intelligence services. These are cloud-based services from Microsoft Azure, which allow you to basically apply machine learning onto your data and build conversational experience. But LUIS was superseded by CLU, another offering from Azure. We actually moved on to CLU because LUIS was going to retire in 2025, somewhere in October, I believe. So that's the reason we started experimenting with CLU. Osama, you would remember our initial days when we started exploring CLU. Would you like to share your experience and what exactly we learned and what were the challenges in using CLU?
Of course, Dinesh. CLU allows us to identify intent and recognize entities from user phrases. For example, in a leave management system, someone can say, I want to take a day off, or someone can say, I want to apply for leaves. These are just 2 examples. Training CLU to all these variations took a lot of time and took a lot of training. So it made it less suitable for our needs.
Perfect, Osama. So I understand the challenge which we both faced in using CLU. It's basically training with a lot of data, and obviously that required a lot of time.
Exactly, Dinesh. Basically, CLU made it hard for smaller applications as well. Like training CLU for small applications took a lot of time, which made it difficult for us and made us think to move on Azure OpenAI. Azure OpenAI comes with 1700 plus models, gives more flexibility and scalability to find intents and recognize entities without much training.
So transitioning to Azure OpenAI with RAG and cognitive search, we saw some good success, right? And you know what I mean, right? But before we get into the final aspects of RAG, retrieval augmented generation, right? Let's talk about how Azure OpenAI was different in identifying entity and objects as compared to our CLU experience.
Basically, Dinesh, Azure OpenAI completely changed our approach. Rather than manually training models like we did in CLU, we are just use prompt engineering in Azure OpenAI. We only just tell the model, do this, and model did for us. For example, if we give a phrase like I want to take leave from 1st January till 20th January, OpenAI recognizes all other phrases by itself. We don't need to do much training for it. This made us more suitable for our use case.
But does it mean, Osama, that training is totally avoided in case of Azure OpenAI, or you feel that there could be some cases where training would be required.
Basically, we cannot avoid training in all the use cases. For the complex one, obviously there is some training required, but most probably in the most of the use case, we will go with the prompt engineering, and it will work.
Perfect. So in short, what you're saying is moving to Azure OpenAI and RAG and cognitive search allowed us to save that crucial amount of time from and kept us away from training models. That's a great point, Osama. But intent recognition and entity extraction are just the beginning of the challenge. We also needed to provide users with relevant information from company documents like policies and FAQs. How was that achieved?
Yeah, this is where Azure Search and RAG came into play. Basically, we indexed our company policies document, FAQs, and manuals to RAG, and they chunked it into informations. Now, to give you an example, I'll say user will ask what is our leave policy. So what OpenAI and RAG will do? Azure Search will pick the most relevant chunk from our policy document, and OpenAI will combine it using its generative capabilities. So to answer this question, answer will be our leave policy is 21 annual days using manager approval. Yeah.
That's a fantastic way to deliver context-aware responses to user. But we would not have achieved this without testing. And I remember that, Azure AI tool which we used has Playground. That helped us in doing the testing.
Yeah.
Can you also throw some light on that?
Yeah, the Playground was an invaluable tool for experimentation and iteration. It allowed us to practically test the models without any coding and test the edge cases. Like, to give you an example, we asked model, who is our chairman and what is the name of our chairman? The model answered it perfectly.
Perfect. So that's a fantastic way basically to complete or rather I should say validate the whole thing in the Playground before we basically take it to production. Now I know this is not the end of it. We had to transition it to a complete application, and we used Azure Bot Framework for that, right? That was also, although it's like a normal application development, but would you like to share some insights on that?
Yeah, so yes, we actually assembled everything, and then we built a bot using Node.js technologies. Basically, what bot will do, bot will collect the user queries, and then Azure OpenAI recognize the intent and extract the entities. Once the entities were extracted, we'll call normal APIs to create leave transaction on our leave management system, which was made on low-code, no-code technologies. Likewise, if a user asks a question which is not related to apply leave intent, it will query the RAG and give the proper answer from our company document.
Perfect. So some of this journey from CLU to OpenAI, cognitive search, and using RAG has been one incredible journey.
Absolutely. I had to say this, start simple if you are new to OpenAI. Just CLU can be a good beginning point for you to understand the various concepts of AI. Then go on to Azure OpenAI and pick any model which is suitable for you.
Well said, Osama. And to our listeners, the success of building powerful applications using generative AI is innovation and learning. We have almost reached at the end of our podcast. We would now be playing a recording of a complete demonstration which shows a conversational experience with the organization policy and a low-code, no-code application such as leave management system. Now, in reality, Osama, you would know, leave management system is just an example. It can be any other application also. To top it further, we can also add one more conversational experience, using Teams. So that would allow us to do a complete engaging experience with the end user, where audio is used over Teams to do simple transactions such as creating leaves or inquiring leave balances or finding simply about where my leave is stuck. I believe this would give our users a good amount of exposure and interest and building such kind of experiences for our end user. Thank you all, and thank you, Osama.
Thank you, Dinesh, for inviting me on today's podcast. We'll be doing more podcasts in future. So stay tuned and hope you'll learn something today. Thank you.
Welcome to our conversational chatbot demo. This demonstration highlights the usage of LLM, large language models, and RAG, retrieval augmented generation techniques to create a different and conversational experience for the end user. We selected a leave management case to demonstrate how employees can apply for leaves, check their leave balance, and ask techcarrot employee policies through a conversation with the AI bot. First, let's explore the leave management dashboard, and then we'll transition to the bot's capabilities. So this is how employee can apply leaves using dashboard. Let's return to our bot. This time we'll ask questions about techcarrot and employee policies. Along the way, we'll demonstrate two use cases, checking leave balance and applying for leaves through a conversation. As you can see, the bot efficiently provides our leave balance. Next, we'll proceed to apply for leave. The bot will gather the required details, validate the information, and call an API to submit the leave request in our management system. As you can see, the user only provides a raw query without specifying exact dates. OpenAI intelligently extracts the required details and seamlessly calls our leave management API, where the leave request is processed. And just like that, it's all done effortlessly through a simple conversation. Let's ask a few more questions to test the response from our Azure search. We've configured Azure OpenAI to only provide answers based on the content of our documents, ensuring it won't respond to unrelated questions. As you can see, this question is unrelated to our policies and isn't covered in the documents. As a result, the AI simply responded with no information found. Let's explore a few more questions from the policy document, focusing on leave encashment and how users can carry forward their leaves. We hope you enjoyed this demo.